Well, hey everybody, welcome to week 3 of our series Now and Later. This week we're going to focus in on an area that I know has frustrated me before, and it's probably frustrated you as well, and that's when we can't meet the goals that we're trying to reach. Have you ever had that happen to you where you set a goal and it seems like no matter what you do, you simply can't reach it? I know for me that was true when I was in high school or middle school. At the beginning of every academic year, I set out to get a 4.0. I'm going to get all A's. And it seemed like every single year when I got my report card, I never had all A's. Or maybe I'd only have A's in the easy classes. And I'd think to myself, why is that? Why does it seem like no matter how hard I try, I can't get a 4.0? So maybe that's happened to you, and if that's the case, then this week is going to be especially great for you, because this week we're going to look in the book of Proverbs at a verse that I think will help us unlock the key to setting the goals that we want to reach. Maybe as you've sat there under quarantine and locked in your house, you looked around your room and you set some goals. You're like, all right, I'm going to get all my homework caught up. I'm going to read a book a day. I'm going to get my room organized for the first time in like the last decade. And it's week 3 of quarantine or lockdown, and you're looking around like, yeah, I haven't done any of the things that I set out to do. That's true of us not just in this season, but that's true of us in a lot of life. Maybe you set a goal to make the varsity team by your junior year. Maybe you set a goal to have your art project done halfway through the semester. Maybe you set a goal to be the best Fortnite player that you could possibly be. And it seems like setting and reaching those goals are two very different things. You see, anybody can set a goal, but being able to reach that goal and actually do what you set out to do, there's a big disconnect between those two things. And if we look at the book of Proverbs, it's going to give us a little bit of a tidbit or some wisdom into how we can be better at life, and I think better at setting and reaching our goals. You see, there's a verse in Proverbs 14, it's Proverbs 14:23, that states this: all hard work brings profit, but mere talk brings poverty. That is a profound statement. You see, in Proverbs, they talk about hard work the same way they talk about currency or money. This proverb states that hard work is going to bring you profit, but if you just talk, it's going to bring poverty. It's going to bring nothing at all. And I think it's a really interesting point, and it helped me a lot to understand that hard work isn't just this intangible thing that's very theoretical. Hard work is something that we can experience the same way we can experience money or currency. This Proverbs is telling us that work leads to success, and talking about something without the work just leads to nope, nothing. And we all know people like this. Maybe you would consider yourself this person and you don't want to be this way anymore, or maybe there's somebody on your team or in your classes that's always talking a really big game. They're going to do this, they're going to be this, they're going to achieve this. They've had all these accomplishments, and then you look and you don't really see any evidence of that. And nobody really wants to be like that. Everybody wants to be the person that can achieve the things they set out for. And what this Proverbs is challenging us with is the idea that hard work will pay off if we're willing to do it. And I know that this might sound like a really simplistic, big idea, but the one thing that I hope you take away from this verse and from this video, if you forget everything else I've said, is that doing is better than talking. Doing something is better than just simply talking about it. And that's what this verse is saying. This verse is saying if you are willing to do something, it's going to pay off. But if you just talk about doing something, if you just set a goal that's kind of lofty, if you just say, yeah, I'm going to do this, but you don't put in the hard work, it's not going to lead to much. I can remember one time in high school, we had this really big test coming up. And my friend and I set out to study for it. It was like the first time we'd ever actually said, all right, let's try and study for this thing. And you know what we did instead of study for the test? We binge watched the entire first season of Lost in one night. The next day when we took a test, how do you think we did? Not very well. We ended up getting a 19, I'm not kidding, a 19% on that test because we didn't put in the work. You see, we set this lofty goal that we were going to study, but all we did was talk about it. And as a result, it did not pay off at all. So in your life, as you think of the goals that you have, what are the action steps that you need to take to reach those goals? Not just talking about the goals, not just talking about how nice it would be if you're able to reach the goals. What are the actual action steps that you need to take to achieve what you want to achieve? And I think something that's so interesting about this verse is the very beginning it says, all hard work leads to profit. That word all is key in that verse. Because what that verse is saying is even when you don't reach your goal, even when you come up a little bit short, even when you fail despite your best efforts, you're still going to profit something. You see, the hard work you put in is going to bring you further than you were before. So even though goals sometimes are hard to reach, no matter how hard you're working, I want you to know you don't need to be discouraged by that, because the Bible is telling us that all hard work is going to benefit us, no matter how short or how far away we get from our goals. But what I know is true of me, and I know is true of you as well, is if we just talk without any action, we're not going to gain anything from the goals we set out to achieve. But if we work hard, if we choose to do rather than to talk, we will be able to profit something. So throughout the rest of this week, the one thing I want you to challenge you with, the one thing I hope that you get to think about as you have some extra time on your hands, is what are the action steps you need to take in order to reach your goals. Thanks so much for listening. We hope to see you back here next week for our series Now and Later.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us again this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for our latest notification on teaching videos. Don't forget to give our Instagram page a follow for our latest updates. And high school students, don't forget this Thursday at 8 o'clock, we're gonna have a Zoom hangout. You can grab the link in our Instagram bio starting on Thursday, and we hope to see you there.